is insane. I cannot have a chat. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. We will edit that. That's fine. Because I don't. Yeah, that's looking good on there. Is that looking good on everything? We are live on there as well. Okay. We're really getting into it. We're really getting into it. I think that's good. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. Okay. Hello. 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 Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's a little delayed, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So that's good. That's good. Everything's good. We're all here. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for joining me. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. We are live on Instagram. We're also on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and Facebook because why not? Okay. At the same time now. It probably looks a little bit different over on the other platforms because I'm actually sharing the Instagram live to everything else. But I think it'll be fine. And then we're going to wait for our guests to come in before we kick this off. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I haven't been on Instagram Live in a while. So this is the perfect place to kind of start this official launch and get going. Very soon we'll have our guest come on here, Cali M. Shout out to Cali M. He's coming on here. And then we're going to get into how you can win $1,000 cash prize just from learning STEM and arts. Already the knowledge that's in your head, okay? This is going to be great. It's a competition that I've hosted for 3 years now in a row. So this is the 5th season that we are launching. Hello, hello, people who are coming in. I see you, women in STEM. Shout out to you. But this will be the 5th season we're iterating on this, where we give away $1,000 for people learning about protein design concepts, especially now in this AI era, learning AI tools. So very, very excited to launch this and get this going. Very, very excited. Oh my gosh. And we're doing it in a new way this time around because we've basically learned over the last seasons how we're doing different things. And so we're definitely incorporating all our learnings into this. Very, very excited. All right. All right, let's see if I look in my... Oh, I see you, Tia. Shout out to you. Come on in. Come on in. We are just waiting on... I think Callie will be coming in very soon and a few others. All righty. Let's go. All righty. Hey, Tia, I see you. Shout out to you. Tia always supporting. Shout out to Tia. Okay. Thank you. All right, we'll give it one more minute. But I just want to tell you guys, first of all, the other thing is, here to support, excited this initiative. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in. I love it. We're not only live here on Instagram, but this is where the main conversation is going to be going on. But we're also live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, as well as on Kick. So shout out to those who are watching from all those places. Hello. I see you. Thank you so much. And if you comment on the other platforms, I'll probably see it periodically throughout the live. But if you comment on Instagram, I'll see it immediately. Oh, thank you, Nat. Shout out to you for coming in. You look good. Oh, thank you. I did not look good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off and start, because I have quite a bit to tell you guys about. Since the last time we did stimulator games. Okay, so I want to give a whole perspective and narration about all of this. And so I'm going to go ahead and kick it off starting now. So, hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Mook, aka Stimulator. I am a scientist, specifically a biochemist, who loves to talk about science and biochemistry and the molecules that influence our human experience. And so I like to connect culture as well as the biochemistry of it. Part of my mission, I feel like, is educating folks, of course, about biochemistry, but also handing tools and resources to members of a community that are, of course, underrepresented within STEM, right? And so, yeah, STEM+Arts is STEAM. That's why I'm the stimulator, but I do like to stimulate conversations using pop culture, using music, using art to really get the conversations going and flowing. Some of the tools that I love and have been actively using right now are all these AI tools. Like the AI has really changed the game, you guys. Like protein design is one area, of course, where AI has changed the game, but AI has touched everything from video generation to how apps are being made, websites are being built. AI has really been able to change how we interact with the world and also how we speed up innovation, which is part of the crux of our community left behind in this AI boom. And so part of what I've been doing is developing tools, community resources, as well as building an audience of people who are not usually in STEM, not usually involved in AI, and trying to engage those folks with exciting competitions, of course, incentives like money, $1,000, who doesn't want money, but also in a culturally aware and relevant way that is exciting and fun. And so, yeah, this is the premise, of course, of my biggest offering, one that I started in 2023, which is Stimulator Games. Okay, that's what we're here to talk about today. And this is a competition where people can win $1,000 in cash prize on Cash App. This is through Stimulator, $ Cash App, right? People are able to win that. Oh, I see. You know what the M stands for? Is that Cali? Let me make sure that I see when he comes in and I can add him on here. But yeah, $1,000 cash prize just from learning about these different tools and resources and utilizing these tools and resources to generate IP, make brand new molecules from scratch. This is what I did my PhD in. My PhD was in biochemistry at the University of Washington under the tutelage of Nobel laureate David Baker. He won the Nobel Prize in 2024, very recently, in chemistry for this ability to de novo design or to create molecules from scratch. And so this is what I learned, and this is what I am trying to teach to my community, my audience. I want people to be able to generate their own this age because of AI, because of tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Manus. A lot of these different tools have been able to allow people not only to generate these molecules and make these concepts, but also one to talk about different theses that would not typically exist in science, right? Because again, there's a wide disparity in science. Very few Blacks, very few Latinos, very few women in science. And so a lot of the problems that are within our communities have no scientists to address those problems, right? And so before, you would have to have a thesis that is summarized and sort of backed up by, let's say, NIH or these large organizations. But now with LLMs and these chatbots, you can validate your thesis back and forth. You know, of course, sometimes they hallucinations, so you need to be careful about that. You don't want to go into AI psychosis. But if you have an idea that's in your community, you could ask, you know, these chat boxes how valid this idea is, how quickly it can be validated. And then I like to pair that idea with actually giving concrete tools that are used within molecular biology and biochemistry, tools that I have used myself, like tools that, again, AI has changed the game. I have publications in using some of these tools. For instance, RF diffusion, protein MPNN, AlphaFold, Bolt, Boltogen. A lot of these tools are all based on AI, and these tools are speeding up the molecular design process. And so the process being used in academia, in industry, in small companies, is the same process that we will be using here at Stimulator Games. And so I'm very, very excited to be able to bring this to my audience and my community. We are waiting on Cali M, who will be coming in. That's not, oh, hey, how's it going? I see you. That's not Cali M. But once he comes in, we're going to kick this off, because the thesis that I have had, one that I haven't seen in the academic literature, I haven't seen really in any of the studies that people have done. It's something that I've been interested in. While everyone is focused on these protein design tools being used for drug design, which is a very important area, right? This is how we get therapeutics, how we get medicines. In fact, it's the industry that I am in, of course, for my 9 to 5, right? But I've also been seeing people use it for agriculture, which is really, really great. Speeding up how we do factory farming, how making it more sustainable and stuff like that. But there are areas that I haven't seen it. There are some, unique areas, let's say, like fashion. I haven't really seen it in there. That's a specific area that people can go into. And in fact, these are some of the ideas that have come out of Stimulator Games. Season 1, we had students, the winner actually, who was very interested in designing a protein that would chelate to metals and basically purify water. She's from Florida, and apparently Florida has nasty water over there. And so this is a problem that is unique to her and her community that she wanted to address. We had another student, Nicole, who actually both of them presented this work and this research at ABRACAMS, a conference hosted in Arizona for underrepresented minorities who are in the biomedical field. But yeah, Nicole had an idea of basically de novo designing a protein that would replace silk. So you'd make it in bacteria instead of the way silk currently is generated, by harvesting silkworms and in a very unsustainable way. And so, these are ideas that are coming from the community, ideas that, sometimes otherwise would not have been sort of attacked. I have an idea for season 5. We've learned quite a lot over the last 4 seasons. Season 1 was really the basics. What is proteins? What are proteins? What are proteins made of? What is protein design? Why is this concept relevant? And can this idea be culturalized? Can it become a pop culture reality? Working, on Amazon's platform AMP, I was able to have 21 creators vie for that $1,000 cash prize and the winning title, all the while learning all these elements. And so that was really great. Season 2 was, more like Amazing Race style, but we now expanded. We had 25 students come in, and they were not just in America like in season 1. These were 25 students from 4 different countries all over the world. We had students in Ghana, we had students in Rwanda, we had students in Zimbabwe, and of course, students in America. 25 students. And in that element, in that case, and you might have seen this where we launched with Nick Cannon, basically, on the Daily Cannon show. But in that season, we were basically taking it to the next level. The question was now, yes, we understand what molecules are, how they're made from atoms, okay, and their different associations, and specifically the molecules that are proteins. We understood that concept. Now, can we identify specific proteins that we know in nature that we interact with, like the saliva in your mouth is a protein, okay? Antibodies that fight against diseases, proteins, okay? So many proteins make up our different domains of life, and they're not just in humans. They're in animals, they are in plants, in viruses. In fact, when you bite into a pineapple and you get that little bite back, the little tangy flavor, that's a protein, bromelain. It's a protein. And so we kind of discovered all these different proteins. And the question was, what does a protein look like? If you're designing a protein, what are some of the characteristics that you're looking for in a protein from a layman's perspective, right? If you make your protein, you compare it with the native protein, what are the features that should be similar for you to be able to be like, okay, my protein is kind of sort of like a native protein and potentially could be a real protein. So that was exciting in season 2. And then season 3, we went out of the virtual world. I mean, season 1 and 2, all of my students were all virtual. Season 1, all throughout AMP. Season 2 was across platforms, YouTube, Twitter, now X, Instagram, but it was all virtual. Season 3 was the first time we were able to do something in person. Of course, we're celebrating my favorite rapper, the Queen, Nicki Minaj, and it was part of her Gag City tour. I was able to go to multiple cities, meet the folks who had signed up for Simulator Game Season 3, and actually do trivia in person. And the Season 3 was really now focused, honing in on what are the building blocks that make up proteins, okay? And these are amino acids. There are 20 canonical amino acids or classical amino acids. And so the idea was, let's learn these amino acids, learn these building blocks while we celebrate, of course, the tour, the music, and enjoy within a specific community of the Barb's community, it was really fun. We were able to even associate specific building blocks, specific amino acids to a color, and people were able to learn about proteins in a fun way. So imagine, a building block making up multiple building blocks, take these, making up a final structure. Think of amino acids as not only letters, right, because each amino acid has a specific letter, but also think of them as having a specific color. And so if a specific sequence or combination of these amino acids or building blocks makes up a protein, then multiple colors make up a painting, right? And so theoretically, you could paint your protein. You could paint oxytocin to make it look a specific way. I actually have a painting somewhere here from that season that I could show you. This was one of the results from this. Like, what you're looking at is the sequence of amino acids that basically spell out oxytocin. Oxytocin is 9 amino acids, and so you're seeing 9 different colors here, each one corresponding to an amino acid. Turned this concept into an app, into a website right now. If you are curious, go check it out, stimulator.com/play. You can color different famous proteins on there. You can color, of course, oxytocin, but you can also color hemoglobin. And in a more simplified way, like something like this can come out from there, so myoglobin is about 160 something amino acids, and so each one of these lines represents an amino acid, and so the full 7-panel version of this actually makes up myoglobin. You see my little signature at the bottom there. But yeah, that was fun. And then the question I wanted to extend from there was, if we can link amino acids to colors, like we just did, and they already linked to letters in the English alphabet, right? Based on historical context and based on how they were discovered. In fact, there's a really great series by Alex Daniels that I want to, loop into this, that really kind of goes deep into where these names came from for these amino acids. So amino acids like valine and lysine, that had come up in season 2 and season 1, you can find out like where did these names come from, right? But anyway, they are hard coded, like these alphabet English letters, like so 26 letters in the alphabet. 6 of those letters are not used in the protein language, but 20 of those are used in the protein language. And so then the question was, if there's this link between English alphabetical proteins, letters, as well as amino acids, classical amino acids, can we basically look at phrases and, sentences in the English language as proteins, right? Now, that's not as fun. One element that would be more fun is, can we look at phrases and sentences that mean something, that have some backing to it, some poetry behind them, like rap lyrics? Can we link rap lyrics to proteins? And this is a unique concept, right? Of course, this is not in any sort of medical application or therapeutic application. Nobody in academia is studying this, because who would fund this? Who would fund such a study, right? But if you ask any protein designer, any experienced protein designer, in fact, we have maybe one of you on the call. Hey, I see you. If you ask them, one of the first things most protein designers do when they learn about this and they're into it, they start putting their name, right, into like BLAST or into these databases to see if they can find a protein that has all the letters within their name. That's if they don't have the 6 that are, not canonical. So we all do it. In fact, a lot of these programs or even these AI protein design platforms, when they're announced, they usually like challenge people to put phrases of, you know, your dog's name, your favorite, you know, house, street where you live on, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's fun. It's kitschy. There's no really research back behind it. But I wanted to explore this even further. So season 4, which is the last season, was a season basically focused now on, you know, Family Feud kind of idea. So I had the collaboration between the University of California in San Diego that were hosting a science showcase. And so in this kickoff, season 4, we had a sponsor. We had, shout out Levitate Bio, also rest in peace, Levitate Bio. But we had Levitate Bio sponsor credits that allowed students to actually use a protein design tool to make proteins. We've been talking about the theory, now trying to apply the actual hands-on application to it. And so University of Washington were some of the students that were also there, as well as Claflin University. And this was sort of organized around this organization called SACNAS, Society of Advancement for Chicanos and Native Americans in Science. Also still bringing this element of, you know, trying to diversify STEM. That's, we need more scientists from different backgrounds in STEM. Because ultimately, when you have different backgrounds, it colors how you attack problems, right? And so then we have different solutions, different perspectives, which is awesome. So yeah, we did do that kickoff. You might actually have seen it on YouTube. I actually had my undergrad professor come on, talk about his scientific journey. He had some of his students there. We had a representative from Levitate, shout out Karen, who is one of our sponsors, who came on, also told us about their journey in science, as well as pitch some internships and job opportunities that were available for the college students who would be interested through Rosetta Commons, which basically is a much larger consortium of everybody who loves protein design, essentially, and uses some of the tools like Rosetta that are involved in there. So that was really awesome. Now, we did get very few signups from there, and so it really ended more with those, you know, I think ended up being like 10 students ultimately playing around a little bit with the platform and the tools, and then, you know, the season kind of wrapped up right there. But season 5, I have been working on this for some time, as most people probably know. After my layoff at the end of last year, and a little bit, you know, I had a little spare time on my hands, so I've enjoyed using that spare time, basically crafting this thesis a bit more. And so that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. I've invited a guest who we share quite a lot of things in common. He is an actual rapper. Like this man is an actual musician. It's one of my favorite rappers. Some of the songs that you probably have heard if you were part of season 1 is Social Climber, which I actually put as an advertisement for this flyer that you might have heard. Social Climber is a song that we used as the season 1 theme song. I don't see him yet in here, but oh, he might be on YouTube. So if you are on YouTube or Twitch, come on Instagram. That's where we are. That's where we're doing this. And so, but yeah, I've admired Cali M for a really long time. Not only is he a rapper, but he's the kind of rapper that I enjoy. It's a rapper that focuses on lyrics, okay? Focuses on, and it's not just the fact that they are double entendres and punchlines, you know, things that make you sort of think about certain lines years later. You know, that's what is the value of poetry, right? Poetry resonates with us because you're saying something that you could say you to think more on it. It resonates with you a bit more. It's a way to really communicate with, you know, human spirit, if you want to say, right? And I think rappers, at least the best rappers, are the ones that focus quite a lot on that. I mean, since why I love Nicki. He's also been influenced quite a lot by Nicki Minaj. He's one of Nicki Minaj's biggest fans, I would say, honestly. Cali M started his rap journey because of Nicki's lyrics. And so we also share that in common. And he's also a lover of STEM. You know, he has an appreciation for that and teaching the next generation. He is a dancer as well as choreographer. He actually teaches students in New York. He's done this for years on end. And in fact, some of his mixtapes and albums are actually named after some of the groups of students that he has been able to teach and empower. So we share quite a lot of things in common, and I thought he would be the perfect today on this live. I have a lot already that is done in the back end that I want to do bit by bit. If you have been following my journey here at Stimulator, where I combine STEM plus arts, then you've already seen some of this product, some of this content that I've been putting out lately, like Molecular Minutes, which is a series that focuses on a specific protein every single day. And you can see that protein on stimulator.com/proteins. You can see that on there if you are interested. Check that out. Every day I take one of those proteins and then I talk to you about why it's important. I talk to you about why it's culturally relevant, of course, and then even why the shape influences the function of that protein. And so it's something that is enjoyable as well. So if you've seen that, let me know in the comments. Also, make sure to like some of these reels and posts that I've been putting out. But also it's a way to look at these native proteins. Oh, I see you, Deshaun. Shout out to you. I see you on Facebook. It's a way to look at some of these native proteins, right? To keep getting an idea of these native proteins or what they look like, what does nature has designed, so that it can influence you when you then do hands-on design, which is part of the thing that we do here in Stimulator Games. I see you, Deshaun. Shout out to you. Long time no see. Yes. No, it's a fun time to come back. See, Deshaun was actually part of season 3. Season 3 Stimulator Games. Deshaun was one of the winners, actually won Gag City, I think was it Long Island, I'm not sure, Brooklyn maybe, it might have been Gag City, Brooklyn, and I got to meet Deshaun, no, it was Queens, yeah, it was Queens. I got to meet Deshaun and a few other competitors. This was the first time I got to meet actually some of these students, which is really awesome. But yeah, you will see some of the content that I already have been putting out also is, yes, Gag City, Queens, there we go, yeah. Also highlight some of the tools and AI-based tools that I've been able to generate through AI. And so I really have been also having conversations with members of our community about how the world is changing with the advent of artificial intelligence. See, I think I am perfectly positioned in this time right now. Obviously, I'm hopped up and excited about artificial intelligence because, I mean, it really is the culmination of all 5 disciplines: science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics are all embedded in AI. I mean, the foundation, the bedrock, of course, is math, right? And the math, the algorithms that drive the technology that have been able to be, expanded and enabled and innovated over the years. A lot of these GPUs are really the reason why we are having this revolution, that tech revolution, right? There's an engineering component built in at multiple layers. There's mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. There's computer engineering, of course, because we're talking about computers, right? And then there's even on the functionality and use cases of it, where it's not just siloed in electrical, mechanical engineering field or physics-based field, but it's also branching out in all of the different life sciences discipline, right? Like, so biomedical engineering, chemical engineering are all using these different AI tools. AI is touching everything. And of course, the area that we are all commonly familiar with in pop culture and is, of course, art. AI has made a marked advances in art. Some controversial and some, for the best. It just depends on different ways. If you've heard of apps like Suno AI, of course, Google now allows you to make music based on AI. It's awesome. Of course, pixel generation, we saw that with Mid-Journey, Sora pictures, you're able to do that. Sora 2 now even is able to do video generation, Higgsfield, Kling, and of course Meta AI are all able to do video and picture generation, which creates a whole category, a different category that never existed before of art in that discipline. And so it's a very exciting time, I feel like, in all these 5 disciplines. And I feel like I am the perfect person to not only, talk about these tools with different people within our community, find out, especially. So I started a conversation series with my parents, actually, my mom and my dad. And, these are folks who were born in the 50s. Okay, 50s and 60s, and they have seen a revolution over the years, especially my parents are from Zimbabwe, so they were born in a time where Zimbabwe wasn't Zimbabwe. It had a whole different name, so they've even seen the independence of Zimbabwe, the struggle from colonialization. They've seen the revolution of new age technology like the internet and from dial-up, to broadband. And they were working professionals during this time. And so now to see another revolution, the AI revolution, I've enjoyed having conversations with them and really finding out their perspectives. I've also had conversations with other members of my community. Shout out Ali, Nat. Also talking to peers, right? Peers who are in different orthogonal career paths, right? They might not be in sciences, but because AI is touching everything, I've been able to have these conversations about how AI is changing, specific industries, like let's say insurance industry or HR industry or different industries, and then also just having a perspective sort of banter, like, okay, what do you think of the future of AI? Do you think AI is going to take away all the jobs, or do you think it's going to enhance the jobs? And all around this idea of let's all stay educated, let's make use of these tools. Knowing about these tools, knowing about AI, knowing how to use AI, I feel like is the fastest path to stave yourself off from being replaced by AI, right? Or really, I think replaced by somebody who's using AI, honestly. And so I've enjoyed these conversations, and I've been posting these, of course, on Stimulator, on all platforms, and you'll start seeing a lot of these clips, and then you'll see the longer conversations. I will definitely post those as a full-on podcast that I'm excited to be able to publish very soon, along this journey of Stimulator Games. While folks are part of this, season 5, we'll be able to get them along. Now, so the kickoff today is really just highlighting this idea of simulator games, right? And why we want to do this. It's of course an intro for myself. This video right here, is going to be chopped up into clips. You will see it, of course, all throughout. So everything is content. I've definitely learned that from this arena. But it's also, it's a time when I'm explaining things from scratch. So it makes sense to also repurpose this and allow people to see this in the future if they ever need a context of why we're doing what we're doing. And so today was really more about kicking off this, really talking about this, and then repurposing this. And then also starting to invite more people. So I'll be having more and more conversations. I have a few lined up with people I really admire and respect, who have grown communities of their own. And I want to make sure that those communities are invited to potentially win this $1,000 cash prize, as well as participate in learning about these different tools and techniques that we are using and utilizing along the way. I will also be using a different platform that I've ever used before. If you guys are familiar with Fanbase, this was founded by a Black CEO, Black founder, Isaac Haynes. I think he's the founder of Fanbase. I love that platform. It has a lot of the functionalities that I want to use for the season, including audio rooms, posts and polls and all those different things. So we'll be using that platform, as well as Instagram, of course, Twitter, and all these other different platforms that we're already on. What did Deshaun say? Deshaun said Gag City Queens. I saw that. And then VIP and Flo. Yes, you were really into VIP. Yeah. And it was fun meeting you. I know you had a fun time. I saw a lot of your content and I was like, oh wow, that he really had a blast. Honestly, 2024 with the whole Gag City and stuff, that really did such wonders for my soul, honestly, because it was not just that students were participating in stimulated games, my brainchild, my little baby, and enjoying, learning about these different science concepts and, STEM-based concepts. But it was now that I was also meeting people in person, right? Meeting people who are learning this stuff. And then also this added element of sharing the joy of one of my favorite rappers, right? Like sharing the joy of Nicki and seeing them enjoy these different concepts. I went to a lot of concepts, okay? And so I enjoyed myself already. So adding that layer of seeing other people's enjoyment, it really got crazy. It really got crazy. And if you're Bob, you already know. It was fun. And then Tia. Oh, hey, Tia. Yeah, Tia's been in here. Tia is a big supporter. Tia has been in here from the beginning. So shout out to Tia. I see you. Now, I have been seeing the live stream keeps cutting in and out. So maybe Cali's having some connection issues. So we might have to, reschedule this and do it some other time with Cali. But I'm happy I was able to at least kick this off and have some of this content already captured so that we can, again, publish it as it goes along in the few next coming days. And I think, if probably we'll give it until, we'll give it a little bit more time, and then we'll probably wrap it up. And see, let's see, what's that? Tia said, sorry, had to switch platforms. I'm about to head out, so put you on the phone. Thanks, Tia. I appreciate you. Shout out to Tia is a ride or die, y'all. And I cannot wait to hear our conversation coming up in the future. So, okay, all right. I appreciate you so much. All right, so you guys, I'm probably going to wrap this up here because it seems like maybe Cali got held up somewhere, or maybe might be having connection issues. And so we will plan to, reschedule or follow this up a little bit later on a different time. But I'm happy to at least have launched this, touch base, kick off, talk, and give some context to what we are trying to do here, and see how things move forward, okay? All right, so I'll probably sign off, and let me see, let me just check, make sure okay, I have you on here. I don't see anything on here. All right. All right, well, shout out to those who did join in. Thank you for coming along. If you are interested in signing up for the season, make sure to keep an eye on stimulator.com/season 5. There will be instructions on how you can participate in this journey. One thing that is different, again, from season 5 from all the other seasons is this season, you really don't have to sign up. You participate immediately, and it's a points system, a points game. So it's a very fast season. It's going to end very soon. We will have a winner for $1,000 probably within the next 2 weeks. It's going to be very, very fast and wrapped up. And so I'm very excited. And we already have some launch pad. We have some molecules that are being made right now by Ginkgo Bioworks. In fact, let me pull over. One thing that in addition to AI, in addition to, of course, the cultural steam that this has just generated over the 5 seasons, is also this new element that didn't exist before, which is that, and something I was working towards, right? Even when we presented those molecules at ABRACAMS with Kamara Ice and Amma Nicole, when they were able to present their work from Stimulator Games, they were presenting theory, right? They were presenting, designs computationally made, and then we were able to do some analytics or analysis, using BLAST and using, fold-seq, just to show that the designs were either structurally different or structurally similar to native proteins. But then it kind of ended there. I have been wanting to express those proteins, actually make real molecules, biological molecules in hand, and be able to see, do they express, number one, if they do express, which is a huge, huge win, do they look like anything in nature? Are they soluble? Can we get pictures of them? All this kind of stuff. And this is very hard. To do that is very hard. Basically, I was thinking of building my own lab, essentially, which is part of the reason I love my experience in startup, because I learned how to build a lab. In fact, built a lab from scratch with, the operations team, as well as some of my previous coworkers. So that was awesome seeing that whole process. But it's very involved in being part of that, process, ordering equipment. Oh my gosh, talking to construction workers, electricians, things that I never thought I would do in my life. It's very involved. Turns out, cut to 2026, that's not necessary anymore. Honestly, it's not necessarily necessary. With the advent of companies like Ginkgo Bioworks, but also Adaptive Bio, as well as many others, you can automate a lot of this stuff. You can ask robots to basically express and purify your proteins and give you just the data. So it's, all of that analysis that we were able to do, design in silico, do that on the computer, we can just end there, give basically an Excel sheet to robots, right, at Ginkgo or at Adaptive. And then in 2 weeks, we basically have data as well as information. And then if that data bodes well, they have the molecules in-house. So you could get those molecules and use them for future things, that's amazing. That's a huge thing in 2026. So actually, I'm very excited to say and announce I have submitted 2 things already to Ginkgo. One, I already have the results of those. So I just basically took my profile picture. You can see my profile picture is everywhere. My profile picture is on every platform, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Kik. And then I submitted that to the art protocol that they have, and they basically highlighted the area that they could work on, which is my atom. You can see the atom in my profile picture. There's an atom that have Africa on in the center. I love that. It's part of my branding and my logo, of course. And so they took that and they basically put bacteria of different colors bacteria that expresses protein that is colored differently. And make sure to check out my reel on green fluorescence protein, because that's one of the proteins that they use, as well as there's a red one, there's a different one, and then they basically made my logo based on actual biological material, these bacteria that expressing these different proteins of different colors. And then they shine a UV light and take a picture, and they send me that picture. And so I'm showing that picture, and I'm so excited. It looks so close to that, And so, of course, this is a novelty experiment, a novelty protocol, but it's a proof of concept of the fact that this pipeline, the citizen science pipeline, exists and now can be, basically automated and work in a way that could not work before. And so the designs that we are generating in this season 5, we will be making either with Ginkgo or Adaptive or whatever. We will be actually making those molecules. They will come to life in real life. And if any of those things are successful, those are grounds for intellectual property that is in our community that would otherwise never have been in our community. And I think that is really exciting. It's an area that is so cool. Now, of course, these proteins don't do anything, right? Because or we don't know what they do, right? Because again, based on a philosophy that's not in science, that's not in medicine, that's not in biotherapeutics, it's not in agriculture, it's not in any of those different areas. It's really its own lane. But if it's actually successful, you guys, I think one thing I might be actually doing low key is creating an entirely new discipline. Like I think hip hop biochemistry is coming to to become like a discipline in a way that did not become before. And again, there are many maybes here. There are many maybes. My theory is a theory right now. It's a hypothesis. We're doing the experiment right now to test the hypothesis. Based on the results, who knows what could happen? We could shut it down and say, hey, actually, we were wrong. It doesn't work. Or we could expand to different areas that would be kind of cool. And all the while we are learning, we're providing resources, tools, and of course, IP to our community. It's something that is needed. It's something that's necessary. I think, either depending on how things go, but really either way in the way it goes, this could also be an answer in the future to a lot of DI naysayers who are saying like DI is really a waste or what, blah, blah, blah. This is an example of some area and some things that have only exist because of DI, right? Who else is doing things like this in STEM? And who else would have thought of doing things like this in STEM than the communities that are directly impacted and directly involved in pop culture as well as in this area. So I'm very excited to announce the second protocol that I've already submitted. I don't have the results yet, but I'm excited to submit that in the future, and I will save that for when we do our call with Cali in the future. But it's honestly too exciting, too exciting. Okay, so all right, we'll follow up with that very soon. Okay. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm very happy that y'all tuned in. Shout out to you and appreciative. TS says, okay, I will steam you later. And congratulations on the new season. Thanks, Tia. I appreciate you. Yeah, a lot of work has gone into preparing for this new season. I never want to just half-ass, a season. I never want to just, do whatever. And so I always try to put quite a lot of, effort and, come up with the budget, again, because of course, everybody's time is valuable and efforts. And if the whole idea is empowering our community, part of the thing is I want to make sure that nobody is being, unjustly affected by, the time that they invest in this, right? I want to make sure that you come away feeling happy that you invested that time, come away feeling, of course, compensated for your time and efforts and promo and all this kind of stuff. And so all that requires a budget. Okay? So I've had to kind of figure that out, which I'm very excited I was able to figure out. I have, of course, some good news that I am not ready to share, but I will share in the future. But you can already kind of tell, honestly, if you know me, you kind of already can tell that there's some good stuff going on. And so Very excited to just share that spirit and just grateful again to have a community to be able to share that and grateful for the platform to be able to do this. Like stimulator, man, this little idea that came about a lot, just from a desire to share what I do with my community, my family. It's now, kind of grown into to something that is unique in its own right. And I'm very excited for what comes up next. So, all right, we will circle back, is what they say. Circle back, follow back up with this conversation when I'm able to get in touch with Cali. And then we'll come back. But already, look out for I'm having a conversation on Fanbase today at 3 p.m. with Joyce. So tune in for that. If you don't have Fanbase, create a Fanbase account. Join us over there. Follow me. I'm Stimulator on all platforms, including Fanbase. Come into the audio room, hear us, chat and talk about this and how we're moving forward. And then on Sunday, I'll have a guest talk as well as later on in the week. Tomorrow, I will be doing a whole promo run the whole day to, again, get signups, get people to participate, and get people aware. So that's really the first phase. We're in first phase right now is just getting people aware of the season 5 that's ongoing. Tell people, how they can participate, how they can potentially compete to win $1,000 and get, of course, their points on the board, the scoreboard, right? And so that phase 1 is probably going to last this first week. And then we'll officially launch in about 2 weeks' time. And so I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited. It's exhausting. It's a little tiring, but I think the tiring and exhausting part is done. The back end, the preparation, right? Now it's really just following through and seeing how it goes. This is exciting. And this will all probably wrap up by Memorial Day. And so May 25, around that point, I think is when we'll wrap things up. So it's going to be a very fast season, fast pace. Blink and you'll miss it. But I also want to do a quick call to all our previous contestants, season 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you signed up at any point in time, you are invited to season 5 to participate again. And I will welcome you in with all arms. Come participate in this, honestly, seminal season. I'm pretty excited about the practical applications that we are able to do, the practical changes that AI has enabled us that we were not possible before. Robotics has enabled us that was not possible before. And very excited about possibilities for the future. So, all right, you guys, I have a lot more I want to spill and tea I want to spill and share with you guys, but we will do that at a later date. I will chat with you guys a little bit later. I'll be back on lives, on different lives. Of course, Fanbase are 3